This video will be just a quick review of how to set up your Moodle shell. So when you get your Moodle shell, it looks something like this. With editing turned off, it probably looks a lot like this. So before you can really get started on your Moodle shell, it's important to set it up in a way that is student friendly. So the default for Moodle is this 3-column layout. That's not the best layout for students, unfortunately. So you have to do a little bit of work when you first get your Moodle shell just to get it going. So how you do that is pretty simple. You just turn editing on, and the first thing that I'd like you to do is to not get rid of, but to minimize these two menus, the navigation menu and the administration menu. Now you need both of these menus, but you don't necessarily need them to take up a lot of space over here in the left-hand column. So what you can do is you can dock this menu by clicking this little button here, and then the menu appears over here as a tab. And when you put your mouse over the tab, you see the menu. So right away that's going to free up some space on your page. Now, the problem with that is this is only what it's going to look like to you, not to the student. So student is still going to see these menus on the left-hand side unless they go in and dock the menus themselves. When you dock menus, that is remembered by the system as part of your profile and your login, but each person who logs into the system has to dock their own menus. What you can do, however, and what I recommend that you do, is move the right-hand blocks to the left. So this first block on the right is the search forms block. I actually recommend that you delete that block. That block is not one that gets used a lot, and the good thing about deleting blocks is you can always put them back. So let's say later on I decided I really needed that search forms block. It's right here and I can put it back in my course. Latest news block, you need that because that is connected to your news forum. Upcoming events is a block that you don't really need unless you're using the Moodle calendar. If you don't plan to use the Moodle calendar, then I recommend getting rid of this block. And like I said, you can always put it back if you decide you need it. Recent activity is another block that I delete because it just shows what I've been doing, and I don't necessarily need students to see that. Okay, so I've gotten rid of all those blocks. Now I've got a nice big space for my content here. And then I'm going to add 2 blocks. I'm going to add the activities block because that serves as a quick link block for my students. And I'm also going to add the people block because that's a way for me to access my course participants really easily. The second thing I wanted to point out to everybody is make sure that you're putting your introductory content up here in this block. I'm seeing a lot of people who are putting it down in this is actually the week 1 block here. The introductory block occurs above the news forum, so just make sure that you're putting your intro content in, so the link to your syllabus would go up here, and any other kind of content that is global or something you'd give students the first time they log in. Alright, so I hope that clears up a little bit about setting up your Moodle shell.